Okay, fight fans, fight fiends, welcome back to Manny's Thoughts. I, of course, Manny MTL or Manny Montreal. Make sure to check me out on Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, Instagram, and obviously, thefightcity.com. So as usual, I'll give you guys my thoughts on what's going down in the world of combat sports. So let's get to it. To start off the show, as usual, congratulations are in order. But before I get started, some special congratulations to us Canadian boxing fans. The Pan Am Games went down in Toronto, and we walked away with none the less but 3 gold medals. Just fantastic outing for us Canadians at the Pan Am Games. If you didn't get a chance to check it out, make sure you go hit up our medalists. We've got plenty of people that have placed in high rankings in boxing, just fantastic stuff. Look out for these names: Arthur Bayerslanov, Mandy Bujold, and Caroline Very. Just fantastic stuff. We got people from Oshawa. Caroline's from here in Montreal. Just fantastic stuff. Very happy for them. Look out for them in the very near future. Big things coming. Now, back to the pro scene. Congrats. A little closer to home. Nova Scotia, actually. Tyson Cave with a big KO win. Apparently, it was one of the best cards that went down in Nova Scotia in a long time. Great news to hear. Happy they had a great crowd out there. Looking forward to seeing Tyson Cave on TV very, very soon. Next up, Beibut Shamanov. If you guys weren't paying attention, PBC was live and free last weekend. And yes, Beibut is still around and kicking. Nonetheless, he won his second belt, making him the first Kazakhstan boxer to have 2 belts in boxing. Good outing for him. It was just a great night of free boxing. If you missed it, go look for it. It's out there. So before I get to the news, obviously Kovalev Mohammadi went down this weekend on HBO pay-per-view, and that in itself was a news-generating machine. So, to explain, on the undercard, you had Jean-Pascal versus Gonzalez. Now, providing a victory, Jean-Pascal was looking at a rematch to Kovalev. Now, he was given that victory by 3 judges. However, the chances of that fight have now gone out the window. Reason being is that Gonzalez was clearly robbed. Me, social media, and HBO all agree Gonzalez clearly won that fight. And I don't mean clearly because of the punch stats, because if you go look at that, it was actually a close fight. I mean clearly on the fact that Gonzalez was pressing the action and it was his fight. Now, at the same time, I will say this. It was his fight, and it was his fight to lose. You see, Gonzalez just left me with the feeling that he could have done just a bit more. And had he, maybe he would have walked away with the victory. Now, hopefully the boxing world and the boxing community does the right thing and gives us the rematch, and we get to see these guys hash it out properly. Chances are that won't happen. But we do know one thing for sure. Jean-Pascal is out of contention in the Kovalev light heavyweight dominance race. Now, who's that leave us? Well, Kovalev went and fought Mohammadi, and Mohammadi was a contender up until about the 3rd round, where he got his nose displaced. You see, Mohammadi was just too small and not strong enough to even deal with Kovalev. Personally, and well, even the community was aware that this was a bit of a mismatch. Now, we all hope for Mohammadi, especially us Canadians, as you know from watching my past show. Kovalev pulled it out nonetheless. So what does this leave us with Kovalev? Well, Adonis on his social media had called out Kovalev and said, come on, let's do this. Now, in response, Kovalev offered a 50-50 split. Now, there's nothing special about that because Kovalev actually walked away from a 50-50 split offer in the past. The thing is, HBO wasn't part of the deal. So I'm guessing this offer that he is making Al Heyman and Adonis is with HBO. We'll see how that works out. In other news, the other rumor is that Kovalev might just go to Russia in January and February and fight Arthur Beterbiev. Now, this is insane and has outside implications people don't understand. First off, providing Beterbiev bests Kovalev, we now have every light heavyweight dude in the division. We have every belt, and we have everyone from the top 5 on. And that means the belt gets to be fought for here, and even more boxing here. Now, Beterbiev loses. Well, okay, Beterbiev goes back to the drawing board. However, this does leave the window open for Adonis because, you see, Beterbiev is actually with Al Heyman as well now. So if that fight were actually going to happen, it would lead us to believe that maybe, just maybe, Kovalev's camp and Al Heyman's camp might just be able to work something out. Now, we'll see what happens with that. A lot of stuff happening in the light heavyweight division. More news in Montreal. Great news. Big boxing news. Going down in New York, Madison Square Garden. David Lemieux versus Triple G. Gennady Golovkin. Just a terrific fight for boxing fans. Best versus the best. No excuses. This is as tough as it's going to get for David Lemieux. And personally, I honestly believe this is Triple G's toughest fight. They're almost cut from the same cloth. They come from an old school boxing way, both of them. And it's just going to be tremendous. The only bad thing from this is that somebody's got to lose. Now, hopefully everything works out with this fight. Nobody gets injured and everything goes down properly. Hopefully Eye of the Tiger sets up some sort of bus tour thing because God knows us Montrealers are going to want to go down to New York in droves. It's going down in the mecca of boxing, the cradle of boxing history, Madison Square Garden. Ladies and gentlemen, October is going to be a crazy month. Cross your fingers. Triple G versus David Lemieux. Can't wait. Now this leads me to my last bit of news. The heavyweight division, the best versus the best, continues. Klitschko versus Tyson Fury. Now, I'm not the biggest Tyson Fury fan. However, anything positive happening in the heavyweight division, I am for. Number one, he's got a mouth. Number two, he's got good press. Number three, he's taller than Klitschko. Number four, despite the fact that he's punched himself, he survived that punch, by the way. I don't think Klitschko could survive that punch. He's got a suspect chin, and this big man's got the stuff to maybe bring it to him. So let's root for him. It'll at least bring some new blood to the heavyweight division. Looking forward to that going down as well. So that leads me to next week and what's cooking. MMA, boxing, same as every weekend, so let me get started. First off, live and free on the Fight Network and NBC, World Series of Fighting 22, Shields versus Falaris. If you don't know Falaris, he's been kicked out of a couple of organizations. Bit of a freak show, likes holding submissions a little too long. Hopefully Jake Shields can punch some sense into him. More MMA. UFC 190 is going down. Rousey versus Carrera. There's going to be a free portion and then a pay-per-view portion. Something like 14 fights in all. The main asterisk I want you guys to put on this, I want you guys to look out for on the free portion of the card. He's a stud. Nordine Taleb from TriStar here in Montreal. Just a monster at 170 pounds. I predict big things for this young man. Look out for him. Nordine Taleb. Last but not least, Free Boxing for All, ESPN and PBC present Danny Swift Garcia versus Paulie Malignaggi. Also on the card, Daniel Jacobs versus Sergio Mora. Just a terrific night of boxing, live and free. Happy somebody's going to be punching Paulie in the face so that he can stop boxing, stick to commentating. I don't always agree with you, but you are very entertaining. Good luck to you against Danny. Hopefully Danny doesn't crush too many bones. So that's it for me this week. Make sure you check out my other show. Make sure you check out thefightcity.com. Hit us up. I am more than likely going to answer you. If you like a Fight City t-shirt, don't be shy. Write to us or hit the bottom link on the website. You'll be able to get yourself one. I'll see you guys next week.